Simple present. Simple present is used to express the idea that an action is continuously repeated or an action that happens usually. The action can be a daily event, a habit, or something that often happens. The structure is verb plus s or es in the third person. Example, she speaks English. I like salad. They don't like fish. The simple present is easy to conjugate with regular verbs because they all finish in the same form. For example, the verb to eat. Below is the example. However, irregular verbs do not follow this pattern. For example, the verb to be. Subject, I, conjugated verb is am. You, are. She or he is, and so on. Here are the 4 ways to use it. For repeated actions, you say, I go to the gym on Monday and Thursday. For permanent states, the sun rises in the morning. For scheduled events in the near future, you say, the plane leaves at 6 a.m. tomorrow. For the word now, which is non-continuous, you say, I am here now. Frequency adverbs are signaling words. Example, always, never, sometimes, once, twice a week, twice a month, etc. And when we are talking about thoughts and feelings at the time of speaking, although these feelings can be short-term, we use the present simple. Example, they don't ever agree with us. I think you're right. She doesn't want you to do it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? In sum, the present simple is used for regular actions or events. Example, he plays tennis most weekends. We use present simple for facts. The sun rises in the east. We use present simple for facts known about the future. We leave at 8:30 next Monday. We use present simple for thoughts and feelings about the time of speaking. I don't feel very well. When do we use present continuous? Present continuous is used for the time of speaking. Now. Shh, I'm trying to hear what they are saying. We use present continuous for things which are true at the moment but not always. We're looking for a new flat. We use present continuous for present plans for the future. We're having dinner with them next week. Present perfect is used to say that an action happened at an unspecified time before now. The exact time is not important. The structure is have or has plus past participle of the main verb. Example, she has always spoken English. I have never liked salad. They have liked fish for a long time. You cannot use the present perfect with specific time expressions like yesterday, 1 year ago, last week, when I was a child, when I lived in Australia, at the moment, that day, etc. You can, however, use the present perfect with unspecific expressions like never, ever, several times, once, many times, before, already, etc. The basic structure is I have been to Spain as an affirmative. For negative, I have never or not been to Spain. Turn it into question, have you been to Spain? Another example is she has driven a car. For affirmative, she has never or not driven a car. Negative. And to turn it into question. Has she driven a car? Here are two forms of when to use the present perfect. 1. An unspecified time before now. Example, I have seen that movie 20 times. People have not traveled to Mars. Duration from the past until now. Non-continuous verbs. For example, I have had a cold for 2 weeks. Mary has loved chocolate since she was a little girl. Signal words are, the following words are commonly used with the present perfect. Ever, since you were born until right now. Just, a few minutes ago. The action has completed recently. Already, it's completed and now I'm doing something else. 4. Used to express a period of time. Duration. Since, used to refer to the specific moment an action began. Please note, however, that British and American English have different rules for the use of this tense. The next explanation and exercises refer to British English. In American English, it is often acceptable to use the past simple in some of these examples. We use the present perfect when we want to look back from the present to the past. We can use it to look back on the recent past. Example, I've broken my watch, so I don't know what time it is. They have canceled the meeting. She's taken my copy. I don't have one. The sales team has doubled its turnover. We use present perfect. When we look back on the recent past, we often use the words just, already, or the word yet in negatives and questions only. Examples. We've already talked about that. She hasn't arrived yet. Have just done it. They've already met. They don't know yet. Have you spoken to him yet? Have they got back to you yet? It can also be used to look back on the more distant past. Example, we've been to Singapore a lot over the last few years. She's done this type of project many times before. We've mentioned it to them on several occasions over the last 6 months. They've often talked about it in the past. When we look back on the more distant past, we often use the words ever in questions and never. Have you ever been to Argentina? Has he ever talked to you about the problem? I've never met Jim and Sally. We've never considered investing in Mexico. For present perfect continuous, it is used to talk about an action or actions that started in the past and continued until recently, or that continue into the future. We can use it to refer to an action that has finished but you can still see evidence. Examples. Oh, the kitchen is a mess. Who has been cooking? You look tired. Have you been sleeping properly? I've got a stiff neck. I have been working too long on computer. It can also refer to an action that has not finished. Examples. I've been learning Spanish for 20 years and I still don't know very much. I've been waiting for him for 30 minutes and he still hasn't arrived. He's been telling me about it for days. I wish he would stop. It can also refer to a series of actions. Examples. She's been writing to her regularly for a couple of years. He's been phoning me all week for an answer. The university has been sending students here for over 20 years to do work experience. The present perfect continuous is often used with since, for, all week, 4 days, lately, recently, over the last few months. Examples. I've been wanting to do that for 10 years. You haven't been getting good results over the last few months. They haven't been working all week. They're on strike. He hasn't been talking to me for weeks. We've been working hard on it for ages. I've been looking at other options recently. Hey, if this review helps you and you want to continue getting new uploads, consider subscribing. If you have any comments on how to make this instruction better, drop your comments below. Thanks.